Hello, everyone. We're kind of doing something a bit different today. We're going to review a little book called Mushroom Magic with a K. Very Crowleyan. Well, anyway. So, this book is basically what's on the tin. It's how to use mushrooms in magic and the lore of mushrooms magically and rituals you can use mushrooms in. So, how does this book hold up? That might be a very good question some of you have. It's quite clear this book caters to kind of the more pop culture, witch talk kind of people. That in itself is not a bad thing. But I do want to kind of consider that in reviewing this book for a number of reasons. Let's get into the meat of this. For a commercial witchcraft book, this is one of the better ones I've seen. I'm going to be honest. It goes over mushrooms you're going to find in the grocery store. At least you can be resourceful. The rituals are useful with clear instructions and alternative options. The author warns about the use of some mushrooms. And the folklore really is worldwide. Like, not just Europe, some Asia, maybe a little bit of America worldwide. Like, literally, a lot of Asia, a lot of Africa, like, kind of worldwide. And for a book that's really commercial, that is really good. I really appreciated this book, kind of looking at the folklore of mushrooms in as wide a scope as possible to kind of give everybody considerations for the mushroom in magic. But this book is not without its flaws. It's very clear this book was meant to cater to a niche, and I'll be honest, the reason I picked up this book was because I looked at it and was like, oh, cute mushrooms. I like mushrooms. I think mushrooms are cute. I've grown mushrooms from a kit before. Oyster mushrooms, they were really good. So, yeah, I kind of looked at this and I was like, fun. That being said, if you're using this as a source of information, I noticed the author doesn't really talk about, like, foraging in your area, like, considerations of, species looking similar, but one might be poisonous and the other not. Some foraging techniques or suggestions for foraging. I also noticed there was no consideration for, like, looking for mushrooms in your local area and kind of considering magic properties of mushrooms that might not have been included in this book. All of that's really damn disappointing because generally in witchcraft, you want to be as local focused as you can be. There's nothing wrong with going to the grocery store to get your magic supplies. I noticed this book kind of does that a lot. Like, it talks about things like shiitake. You can buy shiitake in most grocery stores now, at least in the States, and talks about mushrooms in Chinese folk medicine, like cordyceps. So, again, I'm not going to condemn people for that, but I know there are people out there who would like a more nature-based approach, and this book is weirdly silent on that. It's a cute book. It's certainly not a perfect book, and I have noticed its flaws, like, right through the book, honestly, but that being said, if you like mushrooms, this might be a cute book to have. It's not a necessary book to have. You're not going to miss out on a whole lot, except maybe having folklore and resources for mushrooms. But that kind of stuff is pretty easy to find nowadays with the internet, and while it is a cute book, I'm not going to say you should go and get it just because of that. It's still a magic book, and for a book on magic, it does fall short some places. So just be mindful of that if you are like me and you think mushrooms are super cute, and you'd think having a book on them that is pretty tiny is super cute, because this book is one of the smaller ones I have, actually. But yeah, that's kind of my verdict on that. I hope people found that helpful. If you like what you see on my channel, at the very least, consider subscribing. I try to post a new video every other Saturday. And I hope to see you around.